Welcome folks, this is my first installment of my YouTube channel and it is called Welcome Walkthrough of My Shack. For a long time people have been wanting to see the kit that I use and the different pieces of equipment that I use to create my content. So it is in no shape or form clean by any means, but I still want to show you some of the pieces of kit that I use on a regular basis, not so regular basis, and maybe to give you some inspiration into what you want to purchase next. So let's have a look. So one of the most newest pieces of kit that has arrived is the Trager Ironwood. This has been something that I've wanted to get involved with and use for a long time, and thankfully the opportunity came up. This is probably the sort of middle of the road model before you move into the Timberline options, and then you have below it the sort of Pro and then the Pro Series 22. But it's just an incredible piece of kit that I really enjoy using for getting some really good smoke on things very quickly and convenient. It has a full sort of computer built into it that you can then program on your mobile phone. Opportunities to include your probes as well, and one of the coolest things about this is you can be like literally anywhere in the world as long as you have an internet connection, and you can turn it off if things get too hot. It also has the PAL system, so it's the pop and lock accessory reel, so things like shelves and things, or hooks, if you want to purchase them later on, you then just pop them on. Great storage down below for your pellets as well, and obviously you've got your little bucket there for all your grease, and there's also a little chute here. I'm not obviously going to release it, but you just release that, and then if you don't want to use the same pellets, they go straight into a box. And there's a sensor here that lets you know on your phone if you're running low on pellets during your cook, which is great. Again, I am going to apologise for the way in which this all looks at the minute. This is the sort of pre-summer look at the shack before I get it all sorted. But this is one of the heaters we use in the winter. It is a Kettler tabletop heater, so you'll often see in the winter whenever I'm doing content over here, I'll have that on, just keeping us warm. Really cool piece of kit. This is my biltong maker, so you'll see whenever I'm making biltong, I hang my biltong there. It comes from a company called 54 Degrees North or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll pop the link in the description below. It's just pretty much a very simple model, which is perspex and then a fan with a light. We have our fridge for the summer. It's always very well stocked with different types of beer, and we've got obviously some stickers on there just for a bit of decoration. Completely forgot about the Fandango King kindling cracker, which comes very useful whenever we're doing the offset cooking, and just for making wood splits. It comes in a different size. This is the King, and then there's a smaller one outside. I'll show you later on as well. Again, there's just stuff everywhere at the minute. A Bose speaker, we've got meter plus 2, meter plus, a couple of adapters for different things that need power. Our different kebab skewers hung up here, so the big long ones, we've got our Kasai ones, we've got some other branded ones that we don't talk about, and then these are the big massive skewers. Dartboard for whenever people come around in the summer, and we've got our Monolith rotisserie up there, one of the best rotisseries you can get. I've talked about this many times before and I'll show you again, but this rotisserie is unlike other rotisseries where it only has one spindle in the middle. It has 7 throughout, so you can actually put 7 different skewers on and they're all going to rotate. Pretty cool. That brings us on to the Monolith. This is the Monolith Avangard. When it comes to Kamado Joes and Monoliths, these are the two brands that I would be using the most, Monolith and Kamado Joe. So the Avangard is obviously the latest addition to the family. Really lovely piece of equipment. Top end, you've got lights in the handles. There's some real pros and cons to both the Kamado Joe and the Monolith, which I'll talk about in a couple of different videos in the future, but really nice. It comes in black and just stands out. Over the years I've picked up many different aprons, but I've managed to whittle it down to 2. I've got the Carhartt one and the leather one, butcher one here. I had a box full of aprons that were handed to me and just sort of use them as rags now because you can just have too many aprons. We have the 2 Luft lighters up there, which are now hanging here and here. So I've got them just sort of where I can pick them up with ease. Makes it easier just to grab. And then we've got our Masterbuilt. So again, hasn't been used as much. What I find about the Masterbuilt is it is very, very thirsty when it comes to fuel. Got a plentiful supply of big K woodies. That's the woodies that I'll be using this year, and the rubs that I'll be using is the Firefly collection. So Firefly have sent the full range of sauces and rubs, which is cool. So you'll see some other rubs here, but I haven't been using them. I probably won't be using them the rest of the year. As I said, the Masterbuilt, it is thirsty. It's a great size unit. I just find that with fuel, it can be thirsty. So hasn't been used as much as it probably should be, but we will get it out again in the summer. We've got our sous vide container here just for doing our steaks and things like that. You'll see thermopens lying around the place, knives. I have to watch with the kids, but a couple of chimney starters down there, some wood chunks. We've got the Blok Naka grill down here and a dojo for the Kamado Joe. There's the Blok Naka stack, and again you'll see all my eating trays. We've got a Utoka 45 there, all the tools, bottle openers, etc, hanging up. Cracking wee thing from IKEA. If you're ever looking for something, that comes from IKEA. We've got some cast iron, which all pretty much needs seasoned, as you can see. We don't use it that often, to be honest, mainly the smaller ones for cooking eggs and smaller dishes. Haven't had the walkout recently, but we will. But it's all hung up there, ready to be picked up as and when I need it. In the winter, we have this Kalos heater, which plugs in just to one of the sockets down behind it. I am going to look to get some type of cover for this just to hide the lead, but these are all things that when you build a shack that you can do over time. Nothing has to be done in one go, which is the beauty of it. Connected Joe, obviously right behind the power unit, because obviously with it being winter, we're now moving into spring. Whenever I'm cooking on this, I'm in here, and it's just easier to be right beside the power point, unless I do it outside and then I have to pull out the extension lead. A couple of smaller grills now, so we've got the Kasai. This is so versatile, this Kasai. I love it. It's the medium wide size. You'll have seen in a couple of videos the skewer set. And housed beside the Kasai, we have the Blok BBQ and the Trailblazer Pico. Another power unit here where we have our Alexa. We have a number of rotisseries just along the top. That's for the GMG. That is for, I don't even know. That leads us on to the beast, the GroveFarm grill. This is made, developed by the guys at Great Outdoors Barbecue. It is an absolute beast. It is one of my favourite barbecues to use whenever we get the chance to do it. It's live fire cooking. It is a Perilla grill, so heavy duty. Each of these grills is 10 kilograms in weight. We have the opportunity to hang hooks, stretch things across the top. And as you can see from the back, it has the logo on it. It comes on a cart, and it can come without being on a cart. It's an added extra, fueled by Big K. And other various different types of wood, but it is incredibly fun to use. We put a wee logo up in the corner there too, just to remind us of where we've come, and a couple of other different brands around there. Oh, not forgetting the bug assault. You have to remember the bug assault. In the summer, that is a necessity whenever it comes to outdoor cooking, to kill all those bugs. That's a cool wee barbecue too. That's from the Nomad's Kitchen. They sent that across. It's like a camping one that turns into a suitcase. When it comes to gas grills, this is our Napoleon Rogue Phantom 425. Convenience grill for me, just whenever we need to really get things going quickly as a family. Some great space on it, some really cool accessories, including this warming rack here, which obviously you can hang drumsticks on. It also has storage beneath it. It all lights up, which is pretty cool, and then it has a steak searing zone over here as well. So yeah, pretty nice gas barbecue. And then obviously the pizza oven. This is the Gozney Arc XL. This is the 16-inch model. I do tend to move it in and out, so a stand on wheels might be an advantage in the future. Down here we have our Tefal fryer. We've only recently got this open. We got it last year, but just wanted to make some type of fried fish. I do see it being used quite regularly in the future, just to make some chips and anything with a light batter, chicken wings and things like that. So the Tefal, don't know what it's called there, the Oleo Clean Pro. And the reason I got that is because it keeps everything nice and clean. You don't have to leave the oil in it. It actually gets filtered down to the bottom shelf, the wee blue bit there. Good addition to the shack. Apologies for the mess of this, but this is pretty much where I keep a load of more accessories. Hot plate, Kamado Joe, carbon fiber dishes which are used a lot, another wok, sous vide, backpack, tin foils, all that there. We've got our pellets, just sitting white here for the Traeger, butcher paper and all that there. So that is where we're at with the inside of the shack and the absolute state that it's in before the summer season. Let's go check out the outside and see what other grills we have outside the shack and in the garage itself. So looking at the shack itself, this was built by a friend of mine, GSM Construction and Ben Little Joinery, and the electrics was done by Jim Dornan Electrics, and it's just a remarkable job. I can't remember what size these posts are, but they're the bigger ones of whatever people normally put in. Covers are from Ulster PVC, and the difference with these are, if you have a look, they are tracked into the actual wood. So you can, this obviously stays on the track, but they can be completely zipped off. These can be pulled off, slid off, sorry. And then up here you have obviously heavy duty zips. A wee bit of the paint is flaked off, which is grand because they give you touch up stuff, but they're pretty heavy duty. And then what I managed to do was ask for clips. And then inside here I just clipped the sort of female one, and then whenever you don't want them showing, you can clip them in and they don't hang down. So yeah, this has saved me on many occasions, just with weather and just the wind. You can be in here on one of the worst storms and you won't even feel like there's a storm ongoing. Okay, so starting up with the Kamado Joe Jr. Again, one of the most used barbecues in my sort of collection, and that's because of the size of it and how efficient it is whenever it comes to cooking. Sadly, we have got a broken deflector plate here, but that is being replaced due to Kamado Joe's incredible customer service. Types of things happen over the years. Moving on then, as you can see, there's a bit of rain here, but the rain doesn't even affect these bad boys, which is good. This is the Kamado Joe Classic 3. When it comes to larger cooks, my probably go-to Kamado. In the back, which I can't get to, is the Kettler 4K. Felt to myself, there's no point not showing you this. So this is the Orange Beast. Comes in a couple of different colours, but this is, yeah, this is the electric Kamado from Everture by Heston Blumenthal. It's it is a fun piece of kit, but it gets very, very hot. So if you're looking for some cooks that are just going to be low and slow with using the lowest amount of fuel possible, this is definitely what you want to be going for. I haven't just taken the cover off. This is really making me want to use this at some stage over the next couple of weeks. Then the beast, the offset Leviathan Pit Element. This arrived last year, sorry, at the start of the year, and as we're trying to obviously get these out throughout Ireland, we are going to be starting to promote them, and we are selling them from Great Outdoors Barbecue Company in Moira. So if you're interested in an offset in Ireland, top quality kit, give us a shout, because these are honestly next level when it comes to offset cooking. Really looking forward to getting back onto that when the weather's better. Again, another Fandango kindling cracker down there. And of course we have the Trailblazer 600 Streetmaster. This is an absolute beast with a massive smoker in the back, and it has the capacity to cook up to 600 burgers an hour in the actual main unit with the gold wing doors. So it's used for events and things like that as and when I do them. I have plans for this in the future as my kids grow up, which I'm really looking forward to. But it was a massive investment and something that I do like to keep good. So something I'm looking forward to in the future. Where I really just keep all my like overflow stock and things like that. We have a Bradley smoker up here. We've got our raclette system for indoor cooking on a raclette. And we've got our charcoal all stocked up. A couple of other wee barbecues, all the woodies ready to go, pizza boards. Pretty much everything that I don't really use all the time in the shack comes out here, so it's like sporadic things. Mixers, stools, all that there, extra butcher paper and things, and other extra rotisseries and things. And then of course we have our 2 fridges, so we have our chest freezer for all our meat, and then we have our American style fridge for our ice and our drinks. And as you can see, this is well stocked with the finest item bar beef and Keenan's fish. So yeah, it's an old freezer, but it does the job, especially whenever you're into cooking larger big cuts of meat and fish and things like that. So look, I really hope you've enjoyed following along on the walkthrough. This is really just in preparation for me before I tidy it all up for the summer season. And when you come back, hopefully it'll look a lot neater. Remember to subscribe, give it a like. If there's anything you'd like to see more of, put it in the comments below. Cheers!